Until.
The lights are shining onto the mirror instead of in the windows.
But because Bonnie has spent years in her acting class.
Recording. Okay, we are recording. And I would like to call the meeting to order at 6:00 p.m. And we will begin with citizen comments. As there are no citizens present, we will move on to agenda items. And you are also on the committee. We will first consider approval of the November 13th, 2024 meeting and December 11th, 2024 special called meeting minutes. So if you will review those are in your packet. And when you're ready, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for last meeting as well as special call meeting.
Second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. And we will move on to 25-02, discuss an overall art concept for the city. And I believe that's a staff presentation.
Yes, Perla, you want to talk about that, the overall art concept for the city?
Sorry. All right, so I did want to say, I had a meeting today with a little off topic, but I'm glad that we have this. I had a meeting today with the dance company that wants to hold a dance competition. So March 15th is a potential date. I told them I would bring it to the Arts and Culture Committee. Apparently it's like a break dancing, not the Australian style, it's the dance competition. They started in Dallas, but they want to go further. They're expecting 400 people and 65% of those would stay in the hotel. January 21st, I am going to council in regards to the venue, excuse me, venue 1842, showing not only a parking, but a revenue analysis. I think we also discussed about the electrical boxes, and I believe you can touch base on those as well, but the electrical boxes, Bonnie, correct me, what am I missing? I feel like so much in my head.
And you had talked about us maybe discussing what the overall concept is. That something, the direction that you wanted us to come up with, or the committee to come up with?
I know we have the sister cities, which is something we're working on. Again, the March 15th, and then we have the multicultural gateway to the globe. So if there's any other objectives, I feel like we quite a bit on our plate, but if there's anything else that you guys find pressing, I'm opening to
I
discuss.
think that's good.
Thank you. Is there somewhere on here where I talk about?
I think I would go ahead and do it now.
Because she kind of led into it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's a great segue.
So I just attended a board update meeting for city council, and the overriding message that I received is that council will meet and they will coordinate goals for each committee and board, and then they will come back to us with those goals and specific tasks that they have for us. So the mayor felt like that was something that was important that they had not done yet. So rather than us create any kind of projects or goals for ourselves, they will meet and then come back to us. So that was number one. Number two, they're pleased about the information about Gateway to the Globe. So that was good. sister city event. Earlier, they specifically asked for budget and all that. And what I said is that I would speak with you. And I said, Perla has all those answers. But I also said that my understanding is that our committee was going to be working on a welcoming event as well as finding housing for the people coming over. And then beyond that, I didn't think anything was on our plate.
Correct, yes. And the fact that it's in October, it wouldn't be in this budget discussion.
Good,
So
okay,
I already have that on there.
excellent. So,
Over 100.
so that was the discussion that we had and the mayor specifically wanted to know.
Great.
Budget, would this be an ongoing? Anyway,
Yeah. I'll have it.
I'm bringing that back to you. And then we did discuss the electrical wraps. But the big thing being that we are to be in a holding pattern until we are given further direction. And that's not just our committee, it is all boards and commissions, period. Because the mayor wanted to make sure that as advisors to the council, that we are fulfilling the goals of the council.
Since there's been some of the work done by us leading up to that presentation that you gave a couple months ago, is any of the information that we provided summarized? Are they going to look at that at all, or is it gonna be they're starting with a fresh slate?
So I believe they're going to start over fresh. They've also kind of changed how they want reporting to happen. And so the next time we report to them, it will be a different format.
Is there a reason for us to continue meeting if we're in a holding pattern?
We have these other objectives that are on the plate that we do have to accomplish.
So we just don't create new action items, we just fulfill what we currently have.
At this time. And I believe their intention was to meet fairly quickly to be able to give direction, because again, it's not just us. It was every single board and commission they've asked to wait until you receive further instructions.
So we're discussing under the umbrella of the discussing overall art concept for the city.
Yes.
They need that directive for us. Is that something that they have an idea for, that we're trying to fit into their molds? I guess I'm confused.
I think we'll probably wait for their feedback and what they come back with, and then we can move forward
Okay,
on what their vision is for the city, for the art and culture. Do you feel that? Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
I will add that they do have this strategic planning, and so I have a feeling it's gonna be tied in all of it.
So we're going to move on now
We're
to,
gonna talk about the subcommittees.
yes,
Yes, so can I speak for just a
Yeah,
second? Yeah,
please.
great. So, at our November meeting, we did, discuss and select our subcommittees for 2025 for the Arts and Culture Committee. Can they change? Yes, but we thought moving forward, we all voted, or you all voted and decided on the following subcommittees that you can go to your staff report, to the memo file number 24935. And the subcommittees that are in place are Arts and Culture and Public Spaces, Artist Outreach, Arts and Culture Festivals, Strategic Planning, Sister Cities, and Gateway to the Globe. And Gateway to the Globe was decided at a December meeting special session that was established a subcommittee, and two people that were interested in being part of that were voted upon, Jennifer and Chris McGuire. Thank you very much. The first meeting being tomorrow, and Jennifer, you could talk about that a little bit. But so now that we have the subcommittees established, I gathered all the information that you guys, gave to me, and I put people on subcommittees that I try to go with your first and second choices. Most people are on, two subcommittees. Some people only wanted to be on one subcommittee, but believe me, this can change. This is just what I gathered all the information. I thought we can discuss it. I think I made this an action item in case we decided we didn't have to vote on who was on it. Yeah, it's not a
According
vote.
to
We looked
Robert
it up.
Rules of Order.
Amy and I met earlier and decided, so I wanted to pass this around because I just completed this. I was behind because of the snow, so if you want to take one and pass it around, then it gives everyone an idea. And if you're happy, great. Remember, we have to be below quorum of the Arts and Culture Committee, so the subcommittee has to have no more than 3 on it. So I try to do that and try to accommodate everyone. But believe me, if there's someone who wants change or doesn't feel that's, where their gifts are, that's great. Can we interrupt and welcome Omar?
Who was just at the thing. So I hope I reported, did you hear me reporting back? Was that appropriate that we're in a holding pattern until we're given direction because we're advising,
Yes,
correct?
yes,
Excellent. Good. I wanted to make sure
Welcome.
thank you.
I reported that back.
Will you do me a favor?
Yeah.
You said Omar, but I don't know who Omar is.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Omar Roman,
One of our council
Ah,
members.
Mr. Glenn?
and this is Tad Perryman. Do we want to go around the room and introduce ourselves?
I think that would be good.
Okay.
all right. I'm Tad Perryman.
I'm Rita Ford. Jennifer Rhodes.
Chris Stevenson.
Kristen Meyer.
Brianna Cattell. Dawn Valentine.
Bonnie Newman.
Amy Cave.
Yes. I'm Omar Roman, very nice to meet everybody.
And thank you for being here today. We appreciate that. And the one other thing, as we're talking about subcommittees, I want to bring up, we have that time slot prior to our general meeting, that 5:30 time slot, that subcommittees can meet, but we need to be careful. Only one subcommittee at a time may meet in this building. Because if we have 2 committees meeting, even if they're in different rooms, we're in the same space, we're in violation of quorum. So we need to plan that ahead and get clearance from Bonnie that our subcommittee can meet prior to that meeting, just so that we make sure we're maintaining those rules.
And this isn't the only place where you can meet. I mean, feel free to get with your subcommittee if you want to meet outside, as long as one person is appointed to report back. When we talk about our subcommittees and what's going on, it is more informal than a regular board meeting. And it's nice to jot down notes, but I don't think it's mandatory. But
It's helpful for reporting
Yes,
back
I
then.
think it is.
So subcommittees don't need to have a formal agenda that's been publicized and that sort of thing.
Well, I'd like to post it that you will be meeting in case a guest would like to come, but no, it is much more informal. And no, you don't need an agenda. It's nice to have just, objectives that you want to discuss that evening, moving, towards your goals. I think what we discussed in November is at first, I tasked you, I think in September, October, see what, subcommittees you want to be on, write the goals that you want for these subcommittees. Then we kind of took that back and said, let's put the people who want to be on the subcommittees and then let them get together and write the goal for that subcommittee is kind of, I think, how we left it. It's been, it was the fall. Is that good? You're nodding your head, Brianna. Thank you. So, how do we feel about what we're looking at? A couple of people I phoned to talk about does anyone feel slighted? Do they feel good about where they landed? Do they feel that their gifts will be useful in the subcommittees, that it's where they want to contribute the most to right now?
I think you've done a great job of coordinating all of our input because I would have not known what everyone wanted without this. So thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, we concur, great job.
Yes.
And is it appropriate or advisable that if we're interested in one of the subcommittees that we're not on to attend?
It would put you, if there's 3 already on it,
then
No.
no, right, because we can't go over 3.
Right, and I had this discussion with one of the members and we discussed that. No, in person you can't, you wouldn't be able to attend because that would put us over a quorum. But as we're talking about that subcommittee, if you wanted to make a comment about it or make a suggestion or have an idea,
Oh,
that's something that the subcommittee could bring to the table.
in one of these.
Yes, in one of these meetings. So,
Okay.
because we'll go around the room and talk about each one.
Save some driving.
And and then at that time, you can give some feedback and some input. And I'm sure that the subcommittee will take everyone's input into consideration, but it'll be the 2 or 3 main people that will head it up for right now. And they will talk amongst themselves on coming up with a goal and who will maybe jot down the notes, who wants to be reporting, are they gonna change that up? And that'll be up to you. It's your committee and it's your subcommittees. So it's however you would like to do that.
Okay, just for clarification, let's say the first committee here, Artist Outreach, that's Chris, Jennifer and me. Do we have the freedom just to text each other and say, hey, let's meet up at Starbucks and
Yeah,
have a meeting?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And we don't have to go through Bonnie to say, hey, we're
That's
having this
right.
meeting. Okay,
That's right.
just want to make sure
We've
that we're
also
gonna,
met by phone
just the 3 of
and
us, yeah,
we've met by phone, by Teams, by Zoom.
okay, but
It
it's
does
not,
not even have to be all in person.
it doesn't have to be cleared and it doesn't have to be on somebody's
That's right.
schedule and doesn't have to,
That's right.
that's the gist of what I was.
So my role as the staff liaison is to assist in whatever your needs are. So if you have a question, like Dawn with Branch Arts Live, she's like, hey, Bonnie, do you remember what the dimensions of the stage are? So I can go back to the dance companies and let them know.
Mhm.
Does it have how high is the ceiling? Am I going to be able to drop off stuff on Wednesday? And we talk back and forth regarding that. So if there's something that you need answers from me, if I don't know them, of course, I will go to Perla and ask her. And
And that's,
from there.
and that's another important reminder, as we're working through our subcommittees, Bonnie is our staff liaison. And so we are to go through her, not to other members of city staff, not to council. We are to go directly to her and then she will get the answers. And that just kind of streamlines communication.
And I'm sure Perla will have the answers for you.
And then I always say, and Perla will know that.
Well, and Bonnie does an amazing job, because anytime I
Absolutely.
reached out to her, she's always like,
Great.
here's the answer, and if not, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So she's phenomenal to work with, so.
Good, great.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Gordon. That's so nice of you. Well, I try my best and there's a lot of things I don't know because I'm learning also as we go along. And if I don't know, I'll sure try to get the answer for you.
Do the subcommittees keep notes, or is it just a free for all and then?
I think it's helpful to keep notes because you do need to report back. We need an actual report each time. So I think notes are important, yes.
And I suggest instead of like voluminous notes to like, kind of come to a conclusion.
Yeah.
of This
Well,
is what we
yeah,
want
you're not
to.
presenting your notes, you're presenting a report.
Okay,
So take your notes and because it's a subcommittee, your notes are not subject to being on record. That's not what we're asking for. We are asking for a report back each meeting,
Just like we had.
which would summarize. And the other thing is, if we remember back to the July board, the mayor had asked that we have like reasons why we came to different suggestions or advisements, when we're asked to do something by city, how did we come to that conclusion? So if you have notes, we can retrace that.
So do we all feel okay about where we landed and yeah,
Right.
okay.
And all we're doing now is waiting for direction to come from.
Well, we already have some projects that we need to be working on.
I would just strongly suggest that you come up with your mission statement or what are goals that your subcommittee would like to achieve? You can come up with your goals right now.
But that can be our current approach.
And then
While
when
we're
we
waiting direction, if we don't already have
feedback.
something from the committee or from the council
Mhm.
to be working on. Okay.
And there's times that it'll be busy and not as busy. Some are just ongoing. Some like festivals is a dated event that happens and then you start talking about it for next year. And others are just ongoing.
Good.
It's however your visions are too. And then when we hear back from the mayor and city council, then we'll get a clear direction.
I personally, this is me not speaking for the strategic planning group, and I hope my associates can clear my head, but I find it difficult to have a meeting about strategic planning without, the only goal I would know would be to serve at the pleasure of the council. Based on what I'm hearing right now, that's the only goal I would feel comfortable saying. This is why we exist, to serve with the pleasure of the council, because we have no other information as to what we're supposed to be doing. I think that what I'm interpreting is the slate's clean. We have these legacy projects that are lingering. But there's nothing for the strategic planning to do about Gateway to the Globe. It's already done. I think.
I agree. I mean, when we talked about the creation of this strategic planning committee, the subcommittee, the idea was to have some ideas of future projects kind of in our pocket in case something, we were asked, but it sounds like we are not going to be asked. I mean, it sounds like we are.
We don't know that. Again, this is new information as of an hour and 22 minutes ago.
Okay.
Right.
So we are just acting on the information that we just received.
Okay.
And could we have more information in a week from now or 2 weeks from now? Yes.
Okay.
So I think we hold pat at least until the next meeting. So yes, your subcommittee may not need to meet between now and the next meeting.
But
That's true.
correct. And so to continue on it, this can clarify with the new events that tourism is bringing in that would want to get some assistance with it too. So that could also go with strategic planning.
I don't know if this is a good suggestion or not, but the strategic plan is still being finalized, but there's been some drafts that have been published. Maybe reviewing that and seeing how some of the ideas that we have talked about or, maybe new ideas that might spring to mind. Thinking of, the reasons why certain events were taken off of the city's docket and others were kept on. Like the Blooming Bluegrass, is not gonna be in town anymore after it's not gonna be outdoors anymore, but they're moving it indoors, and so it's gonna be a smaller venue. Maybe that'll popcorn some ideas that eventually will align with what the council is wanting to bring forward to us.
What I'm hearing is they want us to be organized and have our committees organized, be ready for when they ask us something. That's my take from what you're saying. So if we spend time coming up with ideas and having meetings and writing things down, it's very likely that whatever we come up with as an idea is just not going to be on the master plan. And there's probably better use of our time just sort of getting organized about the structure of how we're going to do everything. Does that make sense? Yeah, because it's just not necessary to come up with ideas when that's not our job.
So to counter
Yeah.
that. So I guess my question for you, okay, just taking a moment. For anybody that's on the strategic planning committee, is there anyone that now, because of the new changes, doesn't think they're interested in it? Because I'm not opposed to serving on it, even if we don't have a directive, because I think there's a lot of benefits to still brainstorming, pulling in projects that fall through the cracks and don't fit specifically into one of the other committees. And I'm currently only serving on one committee. If someone wants to not do that because it doesn't sound like something they want to invest their time in with the new directives.
I don't know if this is the same sentiment with others, but I feel like if I were on the strategic planning committee meeting and I was just told, don't do anything until we tell you to do it, then I would feel like well, what if they never come with anything asking us to do something? Like, are we just gonna sit in our hands and not do anything? And, as a creative,
Well, hold
Like,
on. I think we're missing the big point here, which is we've established these committees, as Bonnie has said, they can change. Should council come back with other directives, we maybe need to have a
Pivot.
different committee in place.
Right.
So we're not talking about, we're going to sit through all of 2025
Doing nothing.
doing nothing. We're just asking to hold.
Yeah.
And hold space
right,
until we get further information, and then we may need to make other decisions based on that. But clearly, we have projects right now that we can all be a part of and get on board with. And then I feel very strongly that that information will come pretty soon. As Perla said, there's some tourism projects. I think there are plenty of opportunities for us to be involved. We just need to hold space for it.
Will it be as specific when council meets as far as like, yes, we want to continue Branch Arts Live? That's something that y'all started. Is it going to be that specific or is it going to be more?
General.
I don't have that information.
I just, again, my opinion, it's all this is. There's 12 different boards and commissions. They won't be able to do it in regular city council, so it'll call for special sessions. And there's, 30 days till our next meeting. So we'll know a lot more in 30 days, how far they got. They're working on the strategic plan. Oh, by the way, then the budget hits them in the face in March. And it's like a fire hose, so it never stops.
Well, and I guess the reason I'm also asking too, because if we want to up our game with Branch Arts Live example, we need to start with getting a date and the stage and the vendors and there's just a lot that the longer we wait, the harder those things are. But I understand we need to wait, but if it does take longer than the 30 days and it starts to push further and then next month is the same thing, it just makes it a little bit more challenging for us to accomplish some things.
Well, I
In the
can,
meantime, you could meet and make a list of all those things, so that when we get the feedback, we're.
I already got those.
Right,
things.
exactly.
I already know what needs to.
Chris?
Why don't we make a list of things that we can actually do now, under the circumstances that we are, and have Bonnie or you to Bonnie and to the city council, just say, these are some things that we can actually do for now. And if we're gonna put some other things on hold, at least we know what we can do. Because doesn't seem necessary to talk about what we can't do yet. We just have you ask her to ask the city council, hey, when are you gonna make a decision about what we're doing? But in the meantime, we don't need to even talk about it or worry about it. It's just figure out what are we authorized to do or advise about or kind of organize now. And then,
Subcommittee.
yeah. Because that way we will get something done. That makes sense?
Well, I think us meeting and discussing long-term goals is getting something done. And we have a huge cultural event coming up at the end of March.
Right.
So volunteering at that is a big part of that. I have, and we don't want to jump ahead, but at the end, a listing of all the city events coming up that we need volunteers to
Yeah.
serve at. So that is doing something
No, I agree.
as a
Yeah.
council.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Okay, so does anybody want to have any movement on these committees, or shall we hold?
Do we want to accept the assignments as they are, or we,
We don't even need to vote because it's not a motion.
okay?
And I want to know if we're ready to end discussion on that item and move on to the next.
The only thing I would question, we know there's a couple of things out there based on what Perla was saying that could go to a committee. I'll use arts and culture in public spaces as the example, electrical boxes. Can we just make sure we've defined, it was like 3 things, that which committee should be talking about one of those 3 things so that we aren't lost on those that we know have already been given to us?
Well, I believe that when we talked about the contest, which, and I believe it was your idea, which was a brilliant idea, that it shouldn't fall under just festivals. Depending on if it's electrical box and we're gonna do a contest, where does it fit in? Possibly in art and public spaces. And that was something that maybe it used to fall under festivals and Dawn
Yeah,
would initiate that and set that all up. But as you said, maybe that should float between some of the subcommittees, depending on what the contest is.
yeah,
And-
so I'm just wanting to make sure that we know if electrical boxes already came from the council as something on our list, because we know that the city's wanting to do something,
To be working.
then we know we need to be working on it, and that's the committee that needs to already be addressing it. If we have three things, right? I mean, did I count it correctly?
Correct.
So,
Sister cities, gateway to the globe, electrical boxes.
okay, so sister cities goes under sister cities, Gateway to the Globe goes under Gateway to the Globe, and are we assuming
Yes,
I think so.
arts and culture and public spaces is the electrical boxes?
yes,
So now we all know which committees should already have something to work on
right. And
from the council.
well, and artist outreach
Is ongoing.
is ongoing.
Going,
Right.
okay,
So that the strategic planning is really the one I think we're
on hold.
hang on hold on, as well as,
Parts, the
but
festival.
we need to
We could pre-plan.
find that out.
Well, and we might need to come up with an alternative, a plan B, if not to this way. We can still move forward.
Right, so I think we really ought to go ahead and move forward on that, and then should we need to change,
I think
we can.
Yes.
So strategic planning right now looks to me the one that's on hold. Everything else looks like it has
Okay,
action.
that was helpful for me, because I understand action now for what I'm doing.
Me
Thank
too.
you.
Thank
Well, and there's,
And I'm happy to share any of the information that I have, so you don't have to start from scratch.
Great. I'll reach out to
You
you
wanna
and get a
talk about
copy of it then.
And for strategic planning, I'm just gonna say one more thing, even though we don't, there are other things that we can do besides have ideas, we can get together and the three of us can
Yes.
say, okay, what do you know? What are your strengths? What are your talents? And so that when something
You're
is
ready.
given to us, we can say, okay, that's your area, we're gonna divide
Okay.
these
We
tasks.
just don't have a task yet.
But we can
From
set up a
council.
structure within our committee.
I think
Yep.
that's great.
I like
Rita.
that.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Absolutely. When we're talking about the electrical boxes, by the way, the mayor reiterated, he would really like to see us take into consideration the location so that it is themed to that location. For example, if it's around the new sports complex, it should have a sports theme. If it's near Brookhaven, maybe something pickleball related, so that we're connecting the activity with the wrap, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
So we want to keep that in mind.
Wait, we didn't do it that way before?
Some of them were kind of more generic, like the city in the park. There's like a dog walking one that's really cute.
Oh, yeah.
Could go anywhere.
That's-
You
that's
want to
what it is.
comment on that since you, how they were established, the contests?
We just kind of had a very more global theme, and I think they're wanting more specific.
We did it two ways. We did
Yeah.
contests where we got art from the public. And then we did the arts and culture artwork that was approved by staff and this group. And we put some of that arts and culture artwork on certain things.
The
So
Arts
like
District.
the one at Tom Field and Valley View
Yep.
is the Arts District artwork, for example.
So now it's about maybe changing direction to be specific. So we were general, we just wanted art. Then we were about the arts district, and now we're gonna pick a location and be specific.
Yes.
Okay.
Are there locations already selected to be the next up?
No, that was something that we discussed in the fall, and I think, yeah, we should pick 5 to 10 locations
Do
and,
we have a map of all of them that
I
we can get to? the
believe
committee?
we gave out a map in the fall. We sent that out. I could resend that out. Right? Jennifer, you had asked
Yeah.
for that back in the fall.
There had been discussion about improving 6 stoplight intersections, and they had identified which ones they were.
Yeah, there's 61 total
Yeah.
electrical boxes.
And they seem to be
And they're
doing
doing
a
5 a
handful
year. They're redoing
Okay,
the,
so
yeah,
it's
so
5 a year.
Yeah, they're doing 5 a year. They're changing them out. But we have at least the first year information on that, and I could resend that map out.
That'd be
The
great.
updated map, and to give you an idea, and it could be
Box opens.
east side, west side, central location of the city.
And we just need to confirm that it's electrical versus.
Traffic signal.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are different dimensions for electrical versus traffic signal.
Sure.
Yeah, so the
So
first
we can-
contest was electrical, the second contest was traffic signal, which, it was our marketing department, that was she worked really hard to, Rachel Johnson, to accommodate the wrapping of those traffic signal boxes. So I would pick 3 of the same type of box, or 5 of the same, or whatever, and for this particular next round, it just makes the dimensions easier when you're sending out a call.
Did the location map have the type of box on it?
It said more electric, it was very generic, electro, but there's 61 of them, and I will go out there now that I am very familiar between the electrical and the traffic signal, because
Sorting and.
it was
These are
2
what I-
very different dimensions, so.
Oh, they give-
We can, once I resend that map, then you guys, I think we can come back and see, what, I think a high visible one, I had one that I keep going by, I'm like, that one needs a wrap, and so I have a couple of ideas myself, but I'd like to hear everyone's input on that, so I will send that out in the next day or 2. In that.
All right, let's move on to 24-936. Let's receive an update on art and culture and City of Farmers Branch current projects, events, and upcoming activities. I believe that's you,
Yeah.
Bonnie.
That is me. So one thing exciting that I want to share is that our museum educator, Lauren, and I went and visited Perla's suggestion, Envision Dallas. Had a tour of the facility and was just so excited, and they are wanting to partner with the city in several ways, and I think there's going to be some great opportunities for us, and they're interested in coming out to the Gateway to the Globe and talking about their mission and getting a table and spending the afternoon, evening with us. So I'm excited about that. I'm glad I did it. It just was very educational for myself, and knowing that they're just part of our community. It just,
What is Envision Dallas?
it's formerly Lighthouse for the Blind, and
Okay.
they have a workforce in there, and they sew and create several things, and it's for people with visual impairments, and they do art, incorporate art. They sew all the vests that you see, the street workers, the yellow and orange vests. They do highlight, dry erase markers. They are opening a child care center. It's a lot of things, and they just want to share what their mission is. And they used to be, I want to say, downtown in several different locations, and now they moved to Farmers Branch. They're right here off of Luna and off of
Valley
Valley View,
Mhm.
just east of Luna, and just wonderful. Just, yeah, they offer a lot. So,
And they do have some great arts programs. So I
Yes.
think it makes a lot of sense from this committee standpoint to know what they're doing and offering. Just their
Absolutely.
relationship with some artists too.
yes. And they have art on their walls. They have an art studio, and they offer classes, and different artists come in and teachers come in and teach programs and different things. And they're hoping to expand and offer more and more. And the feedback was that they were very interested in working with us. They said they'd be happy to have a table and engage with the participants during the event. They have it on their calendar, so we're gonna invite them here to the historical park and take a tour of the historical park and just hopefully encourage more and more partnerships with them.
When you said the table, you mean for the Gateway to the Globe event or?
Mhm. And we'll talk about that tomorrow night, but I just wanted to share that because I just received that email and that was quite exciting for me. We get to where I am here. Get my memo of our upcoming events that we have. November one. Don't know why I don't have it here. Do you have one? And then, do I have it?
You're talking about this?
Thank you.
Yes.
So this is a calendar of events for January 13th through March 29th. So Monday, I talked earlier, we're having two Girl Scout workshops that are sold out for Martin Luther King Day. One workshop in the morning and one in the afternoon. We have 50 Girl Scouts coming. So that's quite fun. We have the Mad Hatter Tea. The tickets went on sale December 1st. That's going to be at our new venue, 1842, and that is, tickets are on sale now.
They're probably selling fast though.
Yeah, they're
I will be attending.
usually
I
sold
got a
out.
ticket.
It's new this year. Usually we do two seatings here at the Dotson, but we are doing one seating at the venue and we'll have more seats available. Our summer camps are now on sale. Archella summer camp with Paloma. She's been doing them for years. She's doing 2 weeks this year. Paloma is a R.L. Turner art teacher that works under Dawn, and she's doing 2 weeks in June, the last 2 weeks in June, and tickets are on sale for her camp for any kiddos that are interested. The Historical Park puts on a Girls Make History Camp, a state award winning camp at the Historical Park, and those dates are July 14th through 18th, and that usually sells out also on sale. And I have a sign-up sheet for Mad Hatter Tea if anyone's interested in dressing in character, helping with craft, helping at the selfie station. We do games on the lawn, we do croquet, and we do a life-size chess. So if anyone's interested in volunteering that day, I can send around a sign-up sheet. I think Councilman Roman was the Mad Hatter one year. So thank you for doing that, for volunteering. We usually, yes,
On the costumed volunteers, would you accept teens?
yes.
Because a lot of my acting students,
Yes.
that would be a good opportunity for them to do some community involvement.
We
In
would
fact,
love
I
it.
think the Chabot kids have done it before,
Yeah.
haven't they?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
great.
Lola,
Yes,
yeah,
great.
and her sister, yeah.
Ruby.
One was Alice and one was the Cheshire Cat. So, yes, if anyone is interested in that.
Great.
And that's what we're talking about, is that the city already has so many wonderful events going on that we would love for you all to be part of that. The Girl Scouts again are doing a World Thinking Day event in February for President's Day. Save the date. I hope everyone got their invitation to the Boards of Commission banquet, which is on Saturday, February 22nd. 6 p.m. is the time at the new venue 1842. And of course, our wonderful Gateway to the Globe. And I believe at the time that I had 5 to 9, but I saw something else that said 3 to 9. So I think we'll talk more about that tomorrow night once the subcommittee is meeting for the first time tomorrow evening. And I think that time was 3 to 9. Is that correct, Jennifer?
My understanding is their original time was earlier in the day, but 5 to 9 was what they had settled upon the last time I heard anything about it. It was gonna be later in the meeting.
I heard 5 to 9, but then I just saw something that said 3 to 9. So we will find that out and we will make sure, but any volunteers for that would be wonderful.
We need to have a table there, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, arts and culture will have a table there, so I know I'll be present, but we can probably have some others of us present in our, art and culture polos and have a presence there.
Have the step and repeat out there.
Step and repeat,
Uh-huh.
exactly.
And just be there to offer services or help out wherever needed. Sure they'll have all kinds of crafts. There'll be dancers. I believe they have a fashion show, and we're gonna discuss that for the first time tomorrow evening.
Great, we're excited about hearing back from that. Jennifer, do you have anything to add since, have y'all met? Tomorrow's your first meeting.
Tomorrow's our kickoff meeting. There were 13 people in the committee last year and about 3/4 of them have agreed to participate again this year. There's gonna be some city staff members that are gonna be in attendance. So, yeah, we have an agenda. Anything that's public that I'm gonna share here, I've created a little Google Share folder and I'm dropping files in. So like the agenda, the committee list, I'm putting online to make available. So
Great,
yeah, if you're interested, I'll send you the link.
yes, please, thank you.
Well, and then you can report next month, because by then we would have had 2 or 3 meetings.
Yeah, that was a good point. I think we're having 2 meetings in January, 2 in February, or 1 in February, and then kind of ramping it up as we get closer. One like last minute virtual, just to kind of make sure we got all of our bases checked before the actual event.
Great. Thank you.
I
So
can
thank you.
report that, the Chickasaw Tribe is coming and doing dancing and stickball demonstration.
Oh,
That's fantastic.
Reached out and they got committed.
Yeah, I saw your,
great.
yeah, information on that. Great.
Oh, that's gonna be excellent.
Yeah.
I know, I'm excited. I can't wait.
Honey, are there any other arts things happening besides just the historical park, like at the rec center or the library or
Well,
senior center or the firehouse theater or, I mean, everything on here is historical park centric, which I appreciate.
Yep.
But the agenda item said the city of Farmers Branch, so it just seems like that's a very myopic.
Tonight was the opening of the tiny art show at the library.
at the library, that's right.
So if you want to go see my painting, go.
Okay, I'll make note of that to add that.
Did you-
And I do know that the daddy-daughter dance is the
That's-
first Saturday in February.
Know something?
Perla, and her economic development team had a city event for select businesses at the Firehouse Theater. They came to see Annie. They invited 30 businesses from around the city, and it was very successful. They started at Bankhead and had, dinner and heavy hors d'oeuvres, walked across the street to the theater, and everyone made it across the street. And she actually got some good leads from that, which was very exciting for, I know, her team, and it was very exciting for us as well. So
Fantastic. Anyone else have anything to share?
Brookhaven, students come back next week. And then it will be mad dash of events. One off the top of my head, we will have our second annual design week for our digital art and design at Brookhaven campus on Monday, April 21st. Which will be open to the public and it'll showcase our digital students that don't always get seen quite as much as our visual art and performing arts students. Their student work and then some of our new programs that we're kicking off that venture into VR and augmented reality.
Well, I went to see Annie in December and it was excellent. It was a really good show. I was so happy to be able to be there and every performer was top notch and, and that place runs like a top. So it was a good show.
Yeah. Let's move forward. Do we have any agenda items we would like to add for next month's meeting?
Well, I do like the idea of including all art events throughout the city, whether it's the library or the Brookhaven or the schools or any, firehouse, any place that has events, and the, in Living Color, that is, a business, a local business, and perhaps that if they have events, we can, talk about those too and have those publicized as well.
Well, and I could possibly just get the links for them and just include them, and then you all can explore and around the upcoming events that are going on there.
That will spare her a lot of trouble when
Sure.
it comes to Brookhaven's ridiculous calendar.
Yeah. We can do that is.
Well, and then that's easy for, because I guess the purpose of all this would be so that we can not only attend events ourselves, but pass it on to others. And if it's links, it's much easier to send on to other people. So I think that's a great idea.
Mhm.
That would be efficient. Are there any other agenda items?
Since I'm a part of that artist outreach, subcommittee,
Yes.
and, I'd like to share about events and stuff like that. If you send me that, I can prepare like a spreadsheet or a list that has links to go to those events where, it's ordered by the calendar day. So as it's upcoming, if someone's interested in something, they can just click on it and then.
That's great. Yes, and I will call you.
I love an
Thank you,
engineer's
Jennifer.
brain.
We appreciate you.
Any other items? I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Excellent. All in favor?
Uh,
All opposed? All right, the meeting is adjourned at 6:52 PM. And we're still recording, so hold on.